Hello students, how are you all? Today class is related to the fourth head of the gross total income. The fourth head is capital gains. Gains means either positive or negative both. Under capital gain is given from section 45 to section 55. Capital gain is the fourth head of the gross total income. Under this head, the transfer of capital asset are included. The definition of transfer of capital asset is given under section 45 of Income Tax Act 1961. Section 45 is also called the charging section of this head. Section 45 provides that any profit or gains arising from transfer of a capital asset affected in the previous year will be chargeable to income tax under the head capital gains. Such capital gains will be deemed to be income of the previous year in which the transfer took place. In this charging section, two terms are important. First, capital asset, and second, transfer. First, capital asset and second, transfer. If one component is laid down and second is not laid down, so such types of transfer is not called the capital gain. Such types of transfer is not considered under the capital gain head. To determine any gain is a capital gain, capital asset and transfer of capital asset must be taken place. Otherwise, that transfer is not considered as a transfer. That transfer is not included under the head of capital gain. So, dear students, with the help of section 45, section 45 is the charging head, section 45 is a definition head of capital gain, and in capital gain, section 2 subsection 14 regarding to the capital asset, and section 2 subsection 47 is related to the transfer of capital asset. Both must be taken place under the head of capital gain under the section 45. Section 45 is called charging section. First, section 2 subsection 14, a capital asset. Capital asset means any property of any kind held by an assessee, whether or not connected with his business or profession. Means these assets are connected or not connected in the business. Such types of asset is called the capital asset. This types of asset is called the capital asset. Any securities held by a FIIs, the foreign institutional investors, which has invested in such security in accordance with the Security and Exchange Board of India regulations. Third one is any unit linked insurance policy, मतलब ULIP, unit linked insurance policy issued on or after 1st Feb 2021 to which exemption under section 10 subsection 10D does not apply on account of premium payable exceeding rupees 2,50,000 for any of the previous year during the term of such policy. Means if the premium not exceed rupees 2,50,000, if the such types of policy is not covered under section 10 subsection 10D, so such types of ULIP policy will be treated as a capital asset. Dear students, there are some types of asset which are in first sight it is seen as a capital asset, but according to section 2 subsection 14, these assets are not called the capital asset. First, stock in trade. Stock in trade, any stock in trade other than security referred in point B. Any stock in trade, consumable store or raw material held for the purpose of the business or profession of the assessee are not called the capital asset. Second, personal effect. Personal effect, that is to say movable property, including wearing apparel and furniture held for personal use by the assessee or any member of his family dependent on him are not considered as a capital asset. Any types of personal asset which are used by the assessee or its household members, its dependent members are not considered as a capital asset as per section 2 subsection 14. Dear students, but following asset are not called the personal effects. Following asset are not called the personal effects, personal asset. First, jewelry. Jewelry is not called the personal asset. It will be treated as a capital asset. Archaeological collections. Archaeological collection is not personal asset, is a capital asset. And any gain which is arising on transfer of archaeological collection will be treated as a capital gain. Drawings. Any drawing which having the much value in the market, any painting which have the much value in the market are not treated as a personal effects, treated as a capital asset. Sculptures or any work of arts. Sculptures or any work of the arts are not assumed as a personal asset. It is considered as a capital asset. If any gain is arising on the transfer of sculptures or any work of art will be considered as a capital gain. Dear students, third point is rural agricultural land. Dear student, First point is stock in trade. Second point is personal effects. Third point is rural agricultural land. Generally, Indian agriculture income is exempt under Section 10 subsection 1 of Income Tax Act 1961. But in the chapter of capital gain, it is a separate rule regarding to the capital asset in case of rural agricultural land. In India, agricultural land in India which is not situated in a specified area, if it is situated in a specified area, although that land is agricultural land, will be considered as a capital asset under section 2 subsection 14 of IT Act 1961. Dear students, according to the definition of provision of only rural agricultural land in India are excluded from the purview of term capital asset. Hence, urban agricultural land constitutes capital asset. Urban agricultural land constitutes capital asset or consider capital asset. According to agricultural land described in below A and B point, being situated within a specified urban limits, would fall within the definition of capital asset. If these urban lands are situated in a specified area, a specified radius, a specified covering area, will be treated under section 2 subsection 14 of capital asset, and transfer of such types of urban agricultural land will be treated as a capital gain. First, agricultural land situated in any area within the jurisdiction of municipality or cantonment board having the population not less than 10,000, or agricultural land situated in any area within such distance measured yearly in the relation to the range of population as shown here under. Dear students, we can see in this slide, if the land is situated in such types of area, in such types of covering area, will be treated as a capital asset. In first column, shortest aerial distance from the local limits of a municipality or cantonment board, and population according to the last preceding census, of which the relevant figure have been published before the first day of the previous year. 2 kilometer more than but less than 10,000 population, more than 2 kilometers but not more than 6 kilometers, and population not having 1 lakh, more than 6 kilometers but not more than 8 kilometers, and population not more than 10 lakhs. If the land is situated, if urban land is situated in such types of specified area, so that land has been fallen under the section 2 subsection 14 of IT Act 1961. Dear students, in the case of capital asset, in the case of Section 2 subsection 14, first item was stock in trade, second item was personal effects, third item is rural agricultural land, urban agricultural land including, and fourth one is specified gold bond. If such types of specified gold bond having a 6.5% gold bond 1977 or 7% gold bond 1980 or National Defence Gold Bond 1980 issued by the central government, if these bonds are transferred, then such types of assets are called capital asset. Specified bearer bond, next one is specified bearer bond 1991 issued by the central government. Sixth one is gold deposit bond issued under the gold deposit scheme 1999 or deposit certificate issued under the gold monetization scheme 2015 and gold monetization scheme 2019 notified by the central government are treated as a capital asset. Dear students, after discussing the section 2 subsection 14 regarding to the capital asset, we are going to discuss the transfer of capital asset. Transfer of capital asset is given section 2 subsection 14 of IT Act 1961. All transfers, all transactions are not covered under the provision of section 2 subsection 47, but following transaction, following events, following happenings are covered under the section 2 subsection 47. Section 2 subsection 14 covers transfer of capital asset. And transfer of capital asset covers first the sale, exchange or relinquishment of asset. Relinquishment, forgo, त्याग कर देना. Any sale, exchange or relinquishment of the asset are considered as a transfer under section 2 subsection 47. The extinguishment of any right, परित्याग करना, extinguishment of any rights, forgo of any rights, therein will be treated as a transfer. Any compulsory acquisition thereof under any law by the central government or state government is considered as a transfer. The owner of capital asset may convert the same into stock in trade of a business carried on by him. Such conversion is treated as a transfer. Or the maturity or redemption of zero coupon bond or part performance of contract. Sometimes profession of an immovable property is given in consideration of part performance of a contract is considered as a transfer. So dear students, section 2 subsection 47 also covered there are certain types of transaction which have the effect of transferring or inbuilt the enjoyment of an immovable property is also considered as a transfer. Dear student, I got which types of component or which types of events are treated under the transfer. But there are some types of also events which are happened. Firstly, it seems as a transfer but not covered under section 47. Under section 47 cover transaction not regarded transfer. First, total or partial partition of a HUF. Any partition of HUF, any distribution of capital asset on the total or partial partition of HUF not considered as a transfer. Not considered as a transfer. A gift or will or an irrecoverable trust, किसी भी प्रकार का any transfer of capital asset under a gift or will or an irrevocable trust are not considered as a transfer. Transfer of capital asset by holding company to its wholly owned Indian subsidiary company is not considered as a transfer, but on the basis of following condition, and the condition is the parent company or its nominee must hold the whole of the share of the subsidiary company, and the subsidiary company must be an Indian company. If these conditions are followed by the holding company, will not be considered as a transfer. Transfer of capital asset by subsidiary company to its 100% holding company, being an Indian company, are not treated as a transfer, but on the subject to the fulfillment of the two conditions. First, the whole of the share of subsidiary company must be held by the holding company, and the holding company must be an Indian company. Dear students, in the case of not transfer, fifth point is transfer of capital asset by amalgamating company to amalgamated Indian company in the scheme of amalgamation. Any types of transfer in a scheme of amalgamation of a capital asset of amalgamating company to amalgamated company जिसमें हो रहा है, if the amalgamated company is an Indian company, is not considered as a transfer. Section 2 subsection 47 class Roman 6. Next one is transfer of capital asset. Transfer of capital asset by the demerged company to the resulting Indian company in a scheme of demerger. Demerger, just opposite of the merger. Any transfer in a demerger of a capital asset by the demerged company to resulting company, if the resulting company is an Indian company, is not considered as a transfer. Dear students, after discussing about the section 2 subsection 14 of capital asset, section 2 subsection 14(7) of the transfer of the asset, I am going to discuss about the types of the capital gain. Types of the capital gain having the two types. First, long-term capital gain, long-term asset, and second, short-term capital asset, short-term capital gain. Short-term capital asset STCA, long-term capital asset LTCA. Dear students, in the case of asset, the asset may be two types regarding to the capital gain head: financial asset and non-financial asset. These slides given fully information about this, but in short, in brief, there are two types of asset. First, financial asset, second, non-financial asset. In the case of financial asset, if the financial asset held by assessee less than 12 months. So such types of asset are called short-term capital asset. If the financial asset is held by the assessee 12 months or more than 12 months, so such types of asset are called the LTCA, long-term capital asset. In the case of non-financial asset, like the land, building, plant, machinery, furniture, fixtures, if these assets are held by assessee, held by an assessee less than 36 months, so such types of asset are called the STCA, short-term capital asset. If these assets are held by the assessee 36 months or more than 36 months, so these are called the LTCA, long-term capital asset. So STCA and LTCA, long-term capital asset and short-term capital asset, both types of asset are considered under the head of capital gain, and this rule is presenting with the help of this slide in broadly in large mode. STCA if held by less than 12 months, LTCA if held by more than 12 months. और इसमें क्या है, सिक्योरिटी other than unit listed in the recognized stock exchange, other than market, linked debenture and unit of the specified mutual fund. So dear students, these are the such types of rule which are presenting by me regarding to the long-term asset, short-term asset. If short-term asset is transferred, if short-term capital asset is transferred and any gain is arisen, then that gain will be treated as a short-term capital gain. If a long-term asset is transferred and any gain is arisen, so that will be treated as a long-term capital gain. So dear student, with the help of this slide, we are able to explain in which condition the asset will be treated short-term asset and which condition it will be treated as a long-term asset. Dear students, section 55 subsection 2 represent the cost of acquisition. Cost of acquisition means cost of acquiring, cost of purchasing, cost of getting the asset. The expenses, the amount which is spent for getting the asset is called the cost of acquisition. Cost of acquisition is the price that the assessee has paid or the amount that the assessee has incurred for acquisition of asset. Expenses incurred for completing the title. Expenses incurred by the assessee for completing the title are part of the cost of acquisition, that is stamp duty also included. Dear students, cost of acquisition, cost of purchasing. Cost of acquisition in relation to the following asset is as follows. First, goodwill of a business or profession or trademark or brand name associated with the business or profession or any other intangible asset or a right to manufacture, produce or process any article or thing or right to carry on any business or profession. Tenancy right, stage carriage permit and loom hours or any other rights. Dear students, in the case of financial asset, Section 55 provides the basis of asserting the cost of acquisition of such financial asset. Sometimes, many times, some person, assessee who owns shares or other securities become entitled to subscribe the any additional share or security. Further, they are also allotted additional share or security without any payment. This is called a bonus share. Such share or security are referred to a financial asset in Income Tax Act, Section 55. Dear students, long-term capital asset referred in Section 112A. The cost of acquisition in relation to the long-term capital asset. Equity share in a company on which security transaction tax is paid both at the time of purchase and transfer, or unit of equity oriented fund or unit of a business trust on which security transaction tax is paid at the time of transfer, are treated under Section 112A. And such types of assets are acquired before 1st Feb 2018 shall be the higher of cost of acquisition of such assets and lower of the fair market value of such asset and the full value of consideration received or accruing as a result of transfer of the capital asset will be treated as a cost of acquisition. Okay. Hello student, I hope you are getting each and every points. Cost of improvement, cost of improvement, maintenance. Section 55 subsection 1 refers cost of improvement. Under the Section 55 subsection 1 refer the following provisions. And these provisions are: cost of improvement is not taken consideration when it is incurred before 1st April 2001. Not considered at all. If cost of improvement is considered before 1st April 2001. Second, cost of improvement is taken consideration when it is incurred after 1st April 2001. So dear students, today in the class under the head of capital gain, we have discussed about the Section 2 subsection 14 capital asset, Section 2 subsection 47 transfer of capital asset, Section 55 subsection 1 considered as a cost of acquisition of the financial asset, cost of acquisition of the non-financial asset. So I hope you will got each and every point regarding to these sections. If any query, if any problem, so without any hesitations, you should feel free and should contact to me. So thanks to dear learners, to dear listeners, again thanks to all of you.